everybody, my name is MetaHumans, and with this project I wanted to check how fast you can get from the idea to the final result using real-time workflow with Unreal Engine. I use some AI to save time. I also record animation with Xsens suite and used iPhone to capture the facial animation. In the end of the video I will break down each stage and show all techniques that I used to create this sequence. Check it out.
All right, keep it up on the roof. Kid, you check the store. I will service the cars.
So before we start the breakdown, I want to quickly explain what the project is. It's not a final cinematic, it's a Previs. The goal of Previs is not to create a polished final image, but to quickly test how the story can work on the screen. The shots, the camera language, the pacing, the blocking, and the overall rhythm of the scene. Before spending time and money on a full production, Previs helps answer the most important question: does the sequence actually work? After the first version, it can be reviewed, adjusted, and improved with feedback from the director, the team, or the client. Shots can be changed, the pacing can be refined, and the story can become much clearer before moving into production. And from this point, the Previs can be used in different ways. It can become a solid base for real production pipeline, or even be used as a visual guide for AI video generation. Because the story is already structured, the shots are planned, and the cinematic direction is clear. So this project is not about final polish, it's about building a clear visual version of the story as fast as possible. Okay, and now let's talk about each stage separately. I used AI to generate the first version of the script, mainly to get a quick starting point. But I don't treat AI script as finished material. Most of the time they need a lot of rewriting, restructuring, and directing. In this case, I only kept the core setup from the AI version: the gas station, 3 character, and the idea of the girl being on the roof. Everything else was changed during the process. Once I started working with the location, the shot, the camera logic, and the blocking, the story naturally evolved into something different. So AI was useful for speed, but the actually cinematic version came from rewriting, selecting what worked, and shaping the scene around the visuals. Storyboard is one of my favorite parts of the process. This is the first moment when the story starts to become visible. I don't focus on clean anatomy or perfect perspective here. I draw fast because the goal is to capture the idea, composition, and intention of each shot as quickly as possible. Here you can see how a rough sketch turns into the final shot. The storyboard gives me the idea and composition, but during the mocap I still improvise. In this shot I added a zombie-like movement to make this moment more interesting. To save time, I started by generating the character concepts with AI. After that, I prepared the characters in Blender, created the rigs, and adjusted the faces using ZWrap. Then I turned them into MetaHumans so I could get more realistic faces animation, body movement, and better base for the cinematic Previs. If you want to check another breakdown that I made previously, you can check video somewhere here. For the environment, I used Gaussian Splatting because it's one of the fastest way to build a location. It's a great tool to real-time work, especially when you need to establish a believable space quickly. For all the additional objects like the cars, I used generated assets and then placed them around the location based on the needs of the scene and the shots. For the initial blocking pass, I used a simple T-pose character to move as fast as possible. At this stage, I wasn't focused on animation or final camera polish yet. The main goal was staging, placing the character in the space, understanding their relationship to each other, setting up the camera angles, and building the sequencer shot by shot. This rough pass helps me test the composition, screen direction, pacing, and overall flow of the scene. But I also try to keep everything flexible. The camera work is not final at this point. I leave some space for adjustment because once the animation and performance are added, the timing, framing, and rhythm of the shot can be changed. For the Previs, I recorded each character separately using Xsens. For me, this is one of the most interesting parts because it's not just mocap, it's acting. Each character needs different body language, posture, rhythm, weight, tension, confidence, or fear. Even before dialogue, you can already read a lot from the way a character moves. Xsens gives very high quality motion capture, and it lets me test this performance very quickly inside the sequence. This approach gives me the ability to make many iterations, which is extremely important to the early stage of development. After the mocap pass, I replaced the T-pose character with a recorded performance and started the final layout pass. This is where the sequence changed a lot. Once the animation is inside the scene, the timing, the framing, the staging, and camera rhythm need to be adjusted around the actual performance. Some shots need to be longer, some cuts need to move, some cameras need to be reframed to support the action better. At this stage, I focus on the cinematic continuity, screen direction, pacing, composition, and how each shot connects to the next one. The goal is not just to make individual shot looks good, but to make the whole sequence work as an edited cinematic scene. So, that's it for this previs and breakdown. Thanks very much for watching, hope you find it useful. Please leave a comment with your thoughts and what you would like to see in the next breakdown. I already started working in the next project. Hope I will drop it very soon. See you there. Bye bye.